So a bunch of things happened while I was busy not Let's Playing, so I thought maybe I'd take some time to go over that. The first is something that probably went over a lot of people's heads. There are two ongoing events in Japan right now. Both are Jirachi events, and both give it Meteor Mash. Now, Meteor Mash on Jirachi, I don't know, because I think anyone who's played even slightly competitively lately knows that, well, Ironhead Jirachi is just a bitch with the 60% flinch chance due to Serene Grace. It's just... It's so right when you use it, and yet so wrong when you're up against it. Yeah, it's that kind of Pokemon. And now they're giving it Meteor Mash, which, quite frankly, I'm not sold on it, because it's just that Ironhead is so effective, and while Meteor Mash is going to gain some effect from Serene Grace as well, you're going to have a 40% chance of increasing attack, which is always cool. I don't think it's going to be dethroning Ironhead anytime soon. I mean, just imagine that for a second. They're giving Meteor Mash to the Steel-type Pokemon that probably needs it the least. Well, of course there are other Pokemon that might not need it, such as, for example, Scizor, thanks to its Technician Bullet Punch, and stuff like that. But yeah, Jirachi doesn't really need it. I guess it's one more option if you just don't want to use Ironhead. But why wouldn't you want to use it? It's just so annoying that there have been a few people that actually suggested banning Jirachi to Ubers just because Ironhead was so annoying. Of course, it's one of those things that are thrown up in the air and nothing ever comes out of it, but still, it's just something to think about. So now I think I'm pretty much done with the Desert Resort. Did I talk to this guy? Yep. So I'm going to head over to the Relic Castle now, or what's left of it. Oh! I didn't fight this trainer, sorry. English is hard. So I'm going to do that, and after that I'm going to enter the Relic Castle, which, as I said before, there's a lot less of it to visit than in the last game, because, well, pretty much all that's left is the top two floors. Everything else has been submerged under the sand, except for the bottommost area, the one that has Volcarona, but as I've said before, this is only going to come a lot later. Also, in recent news, we've seen the reveal of Honedge, the Ghost Steel Sword Pokemon, and you know what? The best part about it is, you know, seeing the Gen 1ers flip out, like, really? A sword? Really? You are so running out of ideas, Game Freak. And then these Gen 1ers get completely obliterated by the more sane people who point out that Generation 1 had, like, an eyeball with two magnets, which is far more worth of a really comment than Honedge does. Honedge looks rather cool, I'll give it that. I'm looking forward to see what it's going to evolve into, or if it evolves from something. I guess nobody knows as of yet. But I'm just going to be cautious, because we all remember the last time I got hyped over a new Steel-type Pokemon, it did not end well. So anyway, the gimmick of the Relic Castle has not changed. It's still those same sand pits, I guess you could call them, where you can only walk on the outer edge. If you go to the inner area, you get swallowed, and if you run at all, you get swallowed as well. That hasn't changed. What has changed, however, is that since there are only 2 floors left in this dungeon, these 2 pits that we just saw are the only ones that are left in this place. Also, something about the Join Avenue that I failed to mention, and that Bulbapedia failed to mention as well, is, well, you know how many of the shops have several variants, where the products that are up for sale vary depending on which variant you get? Well, what happens when a human player opens a shop in your Join Avenue? Well, it's that it depends on the game that the other player was playing at the time of interacting with you. So, for example, and this is just an example, don't take it as law. For example, the A variant would be for white players, the B variant would be for black players, the C variant for white 2, and the D variant for black 2. Now, one problem with Bulba Garden's page, though, is that there's no fixed pattern. For example, A could be white for one shop, but it could be black too for another one. So I think Cerebi is a bit more accurate when it comes to, you know, figuring out which game goes with which variant in which shop. But overall, aside from that, I prefer Bulba Garden's page. Anyway, Rock Tomb TM, no use for it since my Excadrill already has Rock Slide. Does Excadrill even learn Rock Tomb? Because I know it can't learn Stone Edge, which is kind of weird, because I sort of wonder what determines what gets to learn Rock Slide, but not Stone Edge, or the reverse. But all I can say is, well, it turned out that not giving Stone Edge to Excadrill was a good call, considering how it's in Ubers and all. So now that we have gone through this area with the stairs, we can go down this pit, and I land right on top of a hidden item to boot, which is a hard scale. Yeah, this could be useful later on, especially for the bonus content, but I haven't really planned out absolutely everything yet as it pertains to item usage for the mono-type runs and the fan service tournament and stuff like that, so we're gonna get to that when we get closer to actually doing the extra content. So yeah, I don't really know why they decided to take away those floors in the Relic Castle where you fought Team Plasma back in the first game. There are a few other areas like this that disappeared, most notably Route 10 is no longer in this game, which is a shame because I love the music, which can still be heard elsewhere for the record. So I guess that's it for the Relic Castle. Wow, that was done quick. So I'm going to dig out of there and head back to the desert resort, which is complete, so I guess we can move on to Nimbasa City. Now, one thing that I would like to point out is that before I started recording this video, I went to the Join Avenue to you know, recommend shops to NPCs, and there was one that I decided to withhold until I actually was recording. Yeah, I'm just going to heal up real quick, and the reason for that is because that NPC only wants to go to the dojo, and as a result, it's going to cause the dojo to level up to 4. And there's something that I want to show you that happens when you level up your shop to 4. I just mentioned the dojo, but this does absolutely work for any kind of shop. So I think the guy is going to appear over there. No? Yes! Okay, here we go. So this guy wants to train Pokemon to make them strong, so we're going to direct him towards Janus Fitness, which, as I said before, and I spoiled it, and I was able to spoil it through the power of save states, by the way. So yeah, now Janus Fitness is going to level up to rank 4, and as a result, it's going to change forms and evolve like a Pokemon would. So Janus Fitness is now Janus's Ring. Yeah, so that's basically what happens when a shop reaches level 4. The same thing happens at level 8, where the shops reach their final form to keep the parallel with the Pokemon intact. So, we now made it to Nimbasa City, so we're going to take a good look at what this city has to offer, which is a lot. This is one of the largest cities in Unova. In fact, it's probably the largest, aside from Castelia. So, we've got someone talking about Elisa, who's the local gym leader. Excuse me, can I talk to you? Where is Gear Station? It's right at the top of the screen! Come on! Now, as you can see, there are some people blocking access to the entrance, but I'm not going to take care of that quite yet. I think I'm going to keep it for next time. So, yeah, Nimbasa is also home to the musicals, which I'm not going to bother covering at all because it's still completely unchanged compared to the first game, so I'm just going to refer to my White 1 LP for that. So, we got more selection in... we got a few TMs here even. Thunder Wave, Gyro Ball, and other assorted stuff, which could potentially be useful, but I'm not going to buy any of them quite yet. But yeah, the other clerk had a few more items than what we saw last time. We went into a Pokemon Center to shop. Unfortunately, there's the Join Avenue right next door to compete with that. So, yeah. Suddenly, this shop here must not have as many visitors. So this guy here gave me a bunch of bread shards, I think 10, which is going to allow me to do business with the move tutor in Driftvale. So here's the Battle Institute, which I don't think has changed at all since the first game either. So only the strongest can enter. Oh yeah, that's right! You need to be the champion in order to be able to enter the Battle Institute this time around. I don't think it was the case in the first game, though I think you could enter the Battle Institute as soon as you reach Nimbasa. And to be honest, I have no idea why they give you that restriction in this game, considering that, well, what was so problematic in the first game that, accessing the place before becoming the champion was such a bad idea? I have no idea. So these NPCs here are talking about shiny Pokemon, which are now referred to as such in the game's canon, even though it only started as a fan-made term, much like the term evolution, which was used in Ranger 2. So... yeah, I think this is one of the NPCs that can check your happiness with your lead or something like that. This guy was the one who gave me the Sunstone that I used to evolve Petilil into Lilligant. So, yeah, this old guy here talking about the various ways that a Pokemon can evolve. And, I really wonder what Generation 6 is going to bring to the table in that regard. There is some potential for some pretty interesting things just by judging by some of the Pokemon that we've seen thus far. But once again, I don't want to get too excited for nothing. Oh, speaking of getting excited over nothing, I found out that people are actually sort of excited for Sky Battles. You remember when I first talked about it, I really wasn't too sold on it because it just felt like it was tacked on and unnecessary. You know, it's just a regular battle with the restrictions as to which Pokemon you can use. Just watch! Generation 7, underwater battles. Only water types can participate. That wouldn't surprise me at all because it's pretty much what Sky Battles are to me. Just normal battles, just with restrictions as to what you can do. It's, while I don't like doubles, triples, and rotation, I can at least recognize that they do something special that no other battle format does. Sky Battles, not so much. So, there really isn't much of interest in this house, it seems. So, okay, I'm gonna get a Sooth Bell, which is good because it makes your Pokemon's happiness increase that much faster, which makes, assuming Pokemon-Ami increases happiness, it's going to make Pokemon-Ami all the more useless. So, I guess that is going to be it for today. So next time, we're going to visit the remainder of Nimbasa City.